these rankings you looking at, these are godly rankings. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what these guys be doing over here, but tune in right now. I got you. So number 25, I got Devontae Freeman versus Cleveland. And number 24, Myles Gaskin versus Carolina. Number 23, Javonte Williams versus LA Chargers. Number 22, Mark Ingram versus Buffalo. As you all know, Alvin Kamara's out, so that's why he's at 22. Number 21, Leonard Fournette at the Colts. Number 20, we got Miles Sanders at the New York Giants. Number 19, we got Elijah Mitchell versus Minnesota. Number 18, we got Josh Jacobs at Dallas. At number 17, we got Melvin Gordon versus the LA Chargers. Number 16, Antonio Gibson versus Seattle. Number 15, we got Darrell Henderson at Green Bay. At number 14, we got A.J. Dillon versus the LA Rams. Number 13, we got Saquon Barkley versus Pittsburgh. Number 12, Cordell Patterson at Jacksonville. Number 11, David Montgomery at Detroit. I want to touch on David Montgomery. So since coming back from his injury, he hasn't really produced like fantasy managers wanted him to. The last 2 weeks, he hasn't scored a touchdown. Week 9 versus Pittsburgh, he had 13 for 63. Then they had a bye. He came back week 11 versus Baltimore. He had 14 for 58. So he played 2 tough defenses the last 2 weeks. But now he gets Detroit. And we all know what running backs do against Detroit. It's about to be a shit show. So I see David Montgomery having a solid week. Mm-hmm. He's going to bounce back this week for fantasy managers. And moving forward, I like David Montgomery. And number 10, we got Nick Chubb at Baltimore. Number 9, we got Joe Mixon versus Pitt. And number 8, we got DeAndre Swift versus Chicago. And number 7, we got James Robinson versus Atlanta. I want to touch on James Robinson also. Just like David Montgomery, the last couple of weeks, last week he scored a touchdown, but the rushing totals haven't been great. He hasn't been looking too good in the past game. But, again, this week they get Atlanta, who's allowing, I think they're allowing the second most fantasy points to running backs. So James Robinson, another guy that I think is going to bounce back this week and have a big week for fantasy managers. So you start James Robinson this week. Number 6, Ezekiel Elliott versus Las Vegas. Number 5, Dalvin Cook at San Francisco. And number 4, we got Najee Harris at Cincy. And number 3, we got Austin Eckler at Denver. At number 2, we got the number 1 fantasy running back. Number 1 fantasy player. We got him at number 2 versus Tampa. Tampa has a good run defense. I feel like this is the game Jonathan Taylor, he's gonna score points. I say he has 15 to
I agree.
18 points, but I feel like it's gonna be tough. You can't just ball every week, and I feel like this is the week that Jonathan Taylor is gonna. He's gonna snap back to reality for a week. You know what I mean?
It hurts my heart to say what I'm gonna say right here.
Okay, let me hear it, John.
But I know.
Let me hear it.
I know.
You know what? Jonathan Taylor's matchup proof, man. He's a problem.
The problem child.
I don't think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is gonna be any different. He's gonna eat. We saw Antonio Gibson go have a great week.
He scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he did. But now we're gonna temper the expectations on Jonathan Taylor.
I'm not tempering. He's number 2.
He's number 2.
Come on, man.
Only because Christian McCaffrey's
I like McCaffrey at Miami better.
I like what you got to say, John.
Jonathan Taylor.
Carry on.
He's going to get the touches. He's going to eat, man. He went against Buffalo last week, and he balled out.
Nah, I feel you.
He's matchup proof to me from this point on. For him to put 51 fantasy points, and and I'll tell you.
So if you had the running back rankings this week, you putting him over McCaffrey?
I probably would, just because of what he did to me last week. It's just only right. It's only right to do it. 51 fantasy points. Come on, man.
That's big respect.
What Tweez says, credit is given when credit is due.
Facts.
And I got to give it to him. I would have to put him at number 1 because, like I said, Tampa Bay's rush. Lately they've been able
to be ran on.
And
by who?
We seen Antonio Gibson.
Bro, he had 64 yards.
He had 2 touchdowns.
He scored 2 touchdowns.
He got in the end
it's
zone.
a possibility for any running back on this list to fall in the end zone, bro. Yeah, they're running backs. Like
But
sometimes your team get on the 1 yard line and you score a touchdown.
Some do, some
but
don't.
I'm not saying, but like it's not like Gibson was just shredding them for 12-yard gains, 15-yard. No, it was tough. Like
It was, but he
found the end zone twice.
He had a solid day.
To John's point,
We saw Khalil.
Gibson don't have the.
All right, we're never going to make this argument because we have him at number 2. So we're going to move on. Like,
Very true. Very true.
it's no argument to be made,
true,
bro.
very true.
It's no argument to be made. It's not like I got him at 10. It's not like I got him at 10.
Or-
So we're not going to go. We're not
or
going to
12.
dive deep into this argument because
Or 12.
Because it's pointless.
There's no need to. It's no need to.
Yeah. So at number 1, we got Christian McCaffrey at Miami. He's back. The golden child is back. Like he's showing you why he was the number 1 pick. Jonathan Taylor should have been number 1 pick, don't get me wrong. But Christian McCaffrey is showing you why he was the number 1 pick. He's back, and I don't think he's limited anymore. So I like Christian McCaffrey at number 1.